Does your apartment or home smell musty? And does your dryer take forever to dry your clothes? Both of those issues could be a result of your dryer venting system and the fact that it hasn't been cleaned. Today, I'm going to show you how you can clean those vents without removing the dryer from a frame, for example, if it's wall mounted, for two reasons. One, if you have a landlord that doesn't feel comfortable with you moving appliances around that will be staying at the property even after you leave, that could be an issue. And two, trying to perform this task with a wall-mounted vent could potentially put you at risk of injury. Hi everyone, I'm Matthew Scott, the founder of Spritzen, and I provide daily cleaning content to make your life easier. So let's get started cleaning your wall-mounted dryer vents to make your home smell less musty. Before we start, we're going to need a vacuum with an extender hose. We're going to need an object that extends like so, i.e. a back scratcher, or a vent cleaner. We're going to need an elastic band, a microfiber cloth, and a flashlight. Firstly, you're going to want to unplug the dryer, and if you have a gas operated dryer, close off the valve first before beginning. For extra safety, especially for older dryers, you'll want to wear goggles and a mask because some of it can get in your eyes and it can also cause breathing issues if you inhale any of the old dust. Ideally, you'd want to shift the dryer out slightly, isolate the vent attachment and then unscrew it and then use this to get in and remove some of the dust and vacuum. Now, if you've never done this before, it might be best to actually hire an expert for it, and it should be covered under an annual clean under the landlord's maintenance of the property. Let's assume that you can't safely move the appliance and we're going to be cleaning all the external vents to minimize the issue. Grab your microfiber cloth and wrap it 2 times over your extender. Get your elastic band, wrap it over the top and make sure it's nice and firm so there's not going to be any scratching of the vents themselves. Extend upwards and start isolating all the external vents. Now you can use a step or a ladder to reach those higher places, and especially when it comes to cleaning the top and behind, but I prefer to use an extender because it's going to be less risky for yourself. Pro tip, if you're not recording a video like myself, you could use one hand to dust to loosen up the vents, and then you could use the vacuum at the same time to suck up all of that grime so you don't have to let it drop down onto your countertop or run the risk of it landing on yourself. For everyone who doesn't live in an apartment where you can access the dryer vent on the outside of the property, you can actually scrub some of the dust using the same extender and vacuuming using the exact same technique I just described for the dryer itself. If your extender's not high enough, say for example if it's in a higher place, you may also need to use an extension rod applying the same technique. Now most experts would say once you've reattached everything, the external vent, the coil to the dryer itself, you could run a cool fluff cycle and then have a look at the external panel to make sure that everything is running nice and smoothly. I've personally found that for new-ish sort of dryers, you don't even need to go to that extent. You just reattach everything, run a cool fluff cycle, and you will be able to smell the actual dryer itself to see whether it's giving off that moldy sort of scent. If done correctly, it should work quite significantly in a short period of time after using this technique. You might have noticed that I haven't used any moisture-based cleaning up to this point, and I do this on purpose for 2 reasons. One, moisture can be a breeding ground for mold, and that can amplify the issue that you've had in the first place with a musty smelling apartment. And number 2, it is an electrical appliance. Not to mention that moisture can also work similar to how cleaning surfactants do in drawing more dust, which would increase the likelihood of you needing to repeat this process more than once a year. So unless the vents have visible grime buildup on them, don't worry about using any moisture-based cleaning techniques for this. Now, I just want to point out the obvious. You do need to remove the lint from your dusters frequently. This will also minimize the risk of the dryer getting damaged and potentially causing fires in your home. Dryer fires are surprisingly common worldwide and is one of the second biggest issues for households in the United States. For everyone renting, it is imperative that you take photos before and after and document the day, date, and time in which you performed the clean, and then give them an update. So if there were any issues, they can document it, or if anything happens to the appliance, you can let them know that you took the appropriate steps to maintain the quality of their products in a safe way. Now, there are three things that I want to make very clear here. One, you do not want to ignore burning smells. Make sure that the dryer is unplugged and let the landlord know straight away. Or if it's your own appliance, look at the manual and contact the company and find out exactly what's going on and how risky of an issue that is. If it gets worse, obviously just call the firefighters, play it safe. Two, never force any of these items. I'll give you an example. The extender technique that I've just recommended is a steel back scratcher. It is not a flexible one. You can buy flexible ones, but this could potentially damage your vents if you're trying to force it into hard to reach spaces. If you feel like you need to get deeper into the vents, there are specific types of flexible cleaners that you can get which allow you to get through those vents a bit more. Most new dryers that are less than 3 years old don't necessarily need that deep of a clean, but if you want to cover all grounds, feel free to buy one of those products. And three, compressed air is not your friend. The reason why is because it doesn't remove the dust like vacuuming and scrubbing will. It will actually just push the dust around. If anything, if it's angled in the wrong position, you'll actually end up pushing more dust deeper, and then you'd have to buy one of those more specialist vent cleaners anyway. All right, everyone, let's do a quick recap. You're going to be unplugging the dryer. You're going to be shutting off the gas if it's a gas operated one. You're going to be using a duster to clean the vents and a vacuum to suck up all that loosened debris. If you are living in a home and you can clean the outdoor attachment, remove the vent, clean the inside and reattach the vent, replug everything in, and then give a 1-minute cool airflow test to the dryer and make sure that everything is running appropriately, both inside and outside. And you should also notice the smell has decreased quite significantly after cleaning. After all of this is done and you don't smell anything unusual like mustiness or burning or anything like that, you could give a full cycle dryer test. What I mean by that is give a few saturated towels a dry and see if that mustiness is gone after it's been dried, and also make sure that it does dry a lot quicker than what it had been previously to cleaning it. Again, once a year should be fine for most dryers, but if it is an old dryer that is more than 5 years old, you're probably going to need a deeper clean, and you may need to contact a professional if it is wall mounted. I hope you found these quick, simple tips helpful, and if you did, give me a like, a subscribe, hit the bell thing, and I will see you next time. I'm posting YouTube videos 3 times a week and shorts twice a day, so there is a ton of cleaning content to make your life easier. See you all next time. One last thing before you go, if you are looking to remove furniture dents from your carpet quickly and effectively, my Forcum Furniture Mark removal set is available on spritzenproducts.com. You can click the link in the bio too, and it will solve all of your problems when it comes to making your carpet look fresh and beautiful.